morning, everybody. Oh, this has been one heck of a week over here at Stock Chartistry. Uh, Not enjoying my internet speed over here, but I got it upgraded to 400 megabytes, but that's downstairs. I still haven't managed to get that upstairs yet. I'll be paying attention to the stream here to make sure that I'm actually able to stream. And right now it's flashing and giving me some warnings. So that's life in the Dominican Republic. We got a pretty good agenda for today. We're going to talk about the Nvidia post earnings. Just a really quick review on that. Not even the numbers. They killed the numbers. There's nothing to talk about that. It's really about expectation. All right. I did a restart on my repeater. I'm supposed to have my modem moved up to this floor. All right. Is the buffering stopped? Are you guys seeing what I'm getting ready to show you? All right. Still buffering. Here we go. Okay. I think we're in business. All right, I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat. If it ends up buffering, I just did a restart on the repeater, and it seems like that actually works. So this is what I wanted to point out to you. Okay, when I'm looking over here at this chart that I showed you yesterday, right? We're kind of like in one of these moves right now. We're in the middle of an uptrend right now. And you can see what happened on this earnings report. It actually had a kind of a sideways, maybe slightly negative day on that, or a day or two after that, and then it actually continued to rip up. And then also you had the exact same situation right here, right? So it kind of did a little sideways action and then continued to rip up, which implies if we're kind of in this move right here, which is like it's like a halfway point right there. If we're actually halfway for that move, it implies it's actually going up here to around 250. So as long as Nvidia doesn't get too crazy with the pullback on this, I think we're actually looking like we're in pretty good shape. So I just want to mention that. We're going to have to watch it for the next couple of days and see how it behaves. But right now, with the expectations and the way this thing trades after hours, I'm actually kind of bullish. So there's a lot of people out there who, that aren't happy. As you can see, the doubt is still actually on some people's cards saying no, it's no bueno. But the majority of the group has said that Nvidia actually won the day, right? So that's what we're looking at right there. That's my take on Nvidia. I'm not getting into all the numbers. We're really only talking technicals. Philly jobless report comes out. Our Philly report comes out at 8:30, and so do the jobless claims. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the pre-market report. By the way, I got that pre-market report out, and I think it's actually in a pretty decent format. It doesn't format perfectly on a mobile phone, but if you turn your mobile phone sideways, actually, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm getting there. I'm almost out of beta phase. It's really taken a lot of work training these guys about how to actually do this. But we're looking pretty good in the pre-market. Now, something that's kind of caught my attention this morning was look here where crude oil was. And actually, I'm seeing crude that's actually spiking up right now. So that's something to pay attention to. We're looking for a new narrative, right? So, and that's actually why I titled this right here. I titled it Nvidia, got the TKO that he was looking to actually invest in. So we got a muted reaction. We already talked about this. I'm not sure it belongs as number one. It belongs as number one if it ends up reversing and then pulling the market down with it. So there is the possibility of that. Honestly, if you listen to their earnings report, I think I know why they go down on earnings all the time. It was so boring. They killed it. And yet I was bored to tears. I wanted to kill myself. I was bored to tears listening to them. I think they got to figure out a way to put some more pizzazz in it, or maybe I just haven't listened to enough earning reports. But anyhow, Walmart reports this morning. This is going to be interesting. I think Deere actually is really going to be interesting. This is actually an AI play on infrastructure, possibly, to be thinking about that. Wouldn't be surprised if Deere just actually crushes it. Okay. Remember what Cat did, right? So oil below 100, de-escalation, that unlocks the relief trade. We're seeing some escalation of oil right now. I'm not sure what that means. The administration constantly is ramping up the rhetoric in order to get a better deal and get Iran to the table, and then it's ramping down the rhetoric because the stock market's reacting. It's just drives me crazy. So I'm sure everybody's tired of it, just like me. This one here actually is kind of important. Intuit reported earnings. They're getting crushed right now, and they're bringing IGV down with it. So the sympathy play of IGV, a lot of these stocks that are in the IGV, they look like they keep trying to get legs, and then something like this happens, and it ruins the whole momentum. So IGV is probably not along today. But if you are thinking that IGV is along in the longer term, or at least a swing, it might be a good opportunity to actually throw some trend lines on and break a trend line, and you might actually have something going on. The China sell-off. The market is it's happening. I'm not sure why we're having like a sell-off today. Tariff overhang. Okay, there it is. Tariff overhang and geopolitical uncertainty. All right, we'll go with that. You see here, actually, I've trained I'm not ChatGPT, but it's actually 3 AI models. I've trained it to actually go in there and pull this information for me. Marvell is actually on the list, and so is Micron. They're having a pretty good session right now, but I think they are doing some pullback recently. In the recent hours, I'm talking about. What else do we have? SPY is in the ascending channel. I gave you the number. I gave you that bottom number actually a while back, a couple days ago. If you bought off of that, you're looking pretty good right now. So metals actually might be pulling back. And I'd say, yeah, you know what? This one here, this breath. I'll probably be coming out with a metaphor about bad breath pretty soon about this. So breath is not looking good. Let's go ahead and let's go to the futures. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. By the way, we got the Bilingual Stock Market channel in the house. I want to call out that he's got a podcast going out today, so be sure that you're watching for his podcast. That's fantastic. He does that with Google with glasses, and those guys just kill it when it comes to fundamentals. All right, so the market's slightly down. VIX is slightly up. We can live with this, okay? The market's in an upward trend, so you're having a little bit of a rest right now. That doesn't hurt us, right? But the oil, which was down, you saw on my pre-market report at 5 o'clock, actually is having a little bit of a spike up right now. So that implies, and I think some people were trying to get in on Nvidia a little bit early. So we also had that going on. You guys, you got to give me just give me 15 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. Let's jump into the charts. Let's see what's going on the overview. By the way, I wanted to welcome the rest of the people in the house. Who else we got in the house? We got Aisha in the house. Alvaro's in the house. Douglas Belissi is in the house. Beverly's in the house. Thank you guys. It's good to have you here. We have Philadelphia index coming out here in about another 1 minute, it looks like. And initial jobless claims coming out in 1 minute as well. On the SPY Max Pain. Max Pain is, well, it's 735. We're kind of in that range. And if you look at, wait, what's that? It's 521. Let's do 521. Sorry. 521. Let's get max pain. So max pain is 735. Okay. So 522, max pain is 740. Nope, 735. 735. So basically, 735 is the number for today. I want to look at the fear and greed index. This is really interesting to me. We're in the same space that we've been in, so this doesn't really mean anything right there. That adds no value. But I did want to show you this. This is actually interesting, and people are talking about this right now in the stock market. First of all, we got maximum momentum greed here. Okay, so that's a good thing if you're wanting the markets to pull back. Let's get rid of that. But then also look at this. This is something that I've seen a couple of people calling out on YouTube right there. The put call volume. Look what's happening now to the put call volume. Ever since April, it's basically nobody's buying puts anymore. That's huge. That's huge. Okay, so now some of these puts are starting to wear off out of the system, and maybe we can actually start to see a little bit of a pullback. I still don't think we're there yet. For me, I like it up in the house. All right, so let's see. I would say pretty muted reaction. Looking over here on the 15-minute time frame chart, pretty muted reaction. 15-minute time frame chart, pretty muted reaction. So I'm not even going to bother with what the numbers are, unless I start to see something actually moving here. I don't really care. Okay, that's how it is. We really care. Okay. That's how it is. We got to focus on what are the things that are actually going to move the market, what are things that are not. Daily time frame chart. Going to maximize. The hourly time frame chart. Okay, and so when I zoom out, you can see an hourly time frame chart. Okay, and so when I zoom out, you can see I'm in that same channel, but I'm going to zoom it right back in here now, so we can actually get some numbers. Because if you're looking to actually scalp this thing or trade it on the day trades, these are the numbers that you actually want to look at. The bottom of your channel right now is actually lining up with this pivot right here, which is 735. 735.50, we'll call it, okay? You also have the 50-period moving average right here at 735.50, we'll call it, okay? You also have the 50-period moving average right here at 737, so that's offering support. And then it's trying to actually get over top of this rising 20-period moving average. So this 20-period moving average is actually giving you some momentum towards the upside. Your 200-period moving average actually came in, it comes in sideways, and it looks like it's actually off. The average actually came in, it comes in sideways, and it looks like it's actually offering some price support right here. It looks like this bearish candle tried to rip down underneath of it, and now it's trying to actually come up over top of that. But it's underneath the 20 right now, and it's actually just kind of oscillating back and forth over top of the 200. You also have this snapback low right here, so let's get that number on the snapback. Okay, so the snapback low is 739.42, and I can see that I'm starting to buffer again. So if I have to do a quick restart, if I have to do a restart, somebody let me know if it's buffering too much, and I'll do another restart on my repeater. Okay. So I am seeing some comments in the chat, guys. Is this? Are you seeing are you getting information out of this, or am I actually just wasting people's time? It looks like I'm actually. It looks like it's very frustrating, and we're struggling with this. But I'll tell you what. We'll just try to keep the show short today. Okay. So let's just do this. All right. What you got going on here is you have this. You have a pivot right here. So that's 742. You got 739. You want to get over top of the 739. You want to hold that, okay? Then get over top of the 742. You got this trend, the middle of your channel actually lines up with 745. If price gets up to 745, you're going to see a reaction there. if you're actually coming in and you're actually pulling this in and you're scalping this thing, you might want to pull it off and then see how it reacts to that. And then, of course, the all-time highs are actually in play. Not necessarily today, but they're in play. And I think that we'll actually, I think we're going to stay inside of this channel. Let's go over to the 15-minute time frame, and we're going to get your pre-market highs and your pre-market lows. Pre-market high is 743.21, and your pre-market low is 737.87. And where are we at in the balance range for this morning? So in the balance range right now, we're trading at the lower end of the balance range, okay? You guys know what that means, I think, by now. When you're trading in the lower end, it actually means a lot of times that the shorts are off sides. When you're trading in the higher end, a lot of times it'll mean that the longs are offside. So right now the shorts are offside. So if you pull this trend line right here, you see you got, maybe it's more like this. One more time. There we go. Pull that trend line like that. So you got that. There's your trend line. So you pull this trend line right there, and you actually have a little bit of a kind of a triangle consolidation in a way. You pull that trend line right there, and then if you're looking at price coming up and out, and then back testing, and then going long, that's actually a pretty nice move right there. Now you could say the same thing for the downside as well, but my issue is that most of the time what ends up happening, and it happened yesterday, we called this to the T yesterday, what ends up happening is because you have all these new money longs right here, it's always good to know about. So appreciate that, Raycat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aisha, for giving me a little bit of little comment there about let's just go ahead and we'll keep going. We'll struggle through it. I have a guy coming today. He's supposed to come today, and sometimes people aren't necessarily that dependable around here. But he's supposed to come today and actually move my Wi-Fi up here. And if he does that, then I'll be golden, okay? But right now, I'm not golden. All right, let's look at this on the daily chart. There's some things I want to actually point out to you. All right, what I did was I pulled a Fibonacci, as you can see right here, and I pulled it from this low right here to this high, okay? Yeah, from that low to the high. And that's there's a pre-market in there right there. So that's the high on the pre-market. So it's a little confusing on this one. Let's go over here to the 4 hour on second thought as opposed to the daily. All right, so here's the Fibonacci that I pulled, and I pulled it from the low right here. It's actually not right at the low, to the high right here, right? And so let me fix that because I like my stuff to be perfect. What can I say? I'm just like that. So here is your low right there, and we'll pull this up now to the high, right there to the high. And it's not huge difference, but it's a little bit of difference. All right, and so what I wanted to actually point out to you was this, okay, is that you have your 38.2 right here. This is a major fib number according to Elliott wave analysis, which that also reminds me that I'm going to be showing you the Elliott wave analysis right after we get done with Nvidia, okay, on the SPY and on Nvidia, okay. So the 38.2, that's a huge number. If it ends up holding this 38.2, that is very bullish, and it probably means we're going to take out this high over here, okay. But we're in an upward trend channel right now. We put in a snapback low right there. We didn't make it quite down to the 61.8. You know what I'm missing on here is I'm missing the 50, and I do like to show that. Let's show the 50. Curious why the 50 isn't there. All right, so there's your 50 right there. It actually spiked just under the 50, and actually, you know what a lot of people actually call this area right here, right in between here. They call this area buy zone. So it is in right now, as we speak, Nvidia, if it doesn't break this bear flag to the downside and then come back and want to re-challenge this 200 period moving average on the 4 hour time frame chart, which right now it's actually acting pretty decently, okay? It's actually, even though that's a bearish candle right there, you know, it's actually a higher low right now and a slightly higher high. And that's on a candle by candle count. That's one of the ways I actually evaluate candles, right, and evaluate the stock market. So it's in the buy zone. If it gets up over top of this 38.2 and it holds that 38.2, this is probably actually going to find its way back up. Now, the other thing that I did also was I pulled an ABC pattern. Now I got to go back over to the daily time frame chart. I pulled an ABC pattern, and this one I actually pulled it here off of this low right here, and then off of this high right here, and then off of this low right here, to say, okay, if that's the ABC pattern, if this is the pattern that we're looking at, there's your A leg, your B leg, where does your C leg take you on the 100 or the, yeah, where does your C leg take you? And so the C leg actually takes you to just a little bit over 250, which that's something that we talked about before as well. So I really think, we're going to see 250 before we see anything lower. And here's another thing that I want to show you as well. Here's the other reason, and I'm actually going to start using this on my my put strategy where I sell puts against this, because what you got here going on is you have a huge base of people who actually bought, and it's actually got a double base. Down here the base is even stronger, but it actually stayed in this range for the longest time. And so this base here has all kinds of activity here. And so you are very strong up above this base. It could come all the way back to testing the top of this base and then still be bullish. I would prefer that it didn't. I'd prefer that it actually stayed above this one right here, but it could actually dip down into it and then still be in this ascending channel as well. So that's kind of like just giving you a bigger overview on Nvidia. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Let's look at the hourly time frame chart for Nvidia. And yes, it's buffering a lot. Okay, I'm going to go do a restart on the repeater one more time. I seemed to fix it last time. Let's see if it helps again. No more audio. Oh, okay. And it seems like I lost everybody. Hey guys, thank you so much for attending. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. I'll be back tomorrow with full internet. I have to resolve this. It's terrible, baby.